Welcome to your podcast, Beyond Capable. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Capable. This is your host, Eric Trinidad. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we can share our story not only with you, but with the world. Today I have a guest, really special guest. My wife and her are friends and former co-workers. Her name is Lex.
Mhm.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I know the whole thing, our when we met was kind of awkward, but
I loved it. It was great. It
Yeah.
was great.
For guys that don't know out there, that's an inside joke, but it's like I didn't know. I thought you were somebody else. I thought you were because he has a partner, a teammate that's also Lexi.
Yep.
And at the beginning, I was like a little bit thrown off because I was like, okay, how I want to implement her story into the podcast. I didn't know how. But then when I realized it was you, I was like, damn it.
As soon as Ariana texted me, I was crying. I
Yeah.
was laughing so hard. It was so funny.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is that, I'm visually impaired. She did tell me who you were. I just didn't see that part in the text.
Yep.
So it was I blame my eyes. I blame my eyes to that. Thank you. My wife thinks highly of you. She wouldn't suggest you if she didn't think it'd be a great story.
Yeah, I love her.
And yeah, my wife's a really good joke character. Sometimes I don't want to accept that, but but like any other husband, they wives are right, but we just kind of say it low key.
Yep.
But
Sometimes you gotta be.
yeah, it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing. So I was reading your bio, and it was really like first of all, it wasn't long.
Okay, cool.
It wasn't long. It was extremely interesting. Honestly, you can make a movie out of your life. I mean that. Like, other day, somebody was asking me about my schedule for the week and said, and this girl coming in on Saturday, man, she can make a movie out of her life, or life story, or even a book. Like, it's really
It was weird. My life was weird.
no, challenging. Let's put it that way.
It was.
Yes,
Yeah, I like that word.
Challenging, not weird. So when I was reading your bio, you mentioned that you move around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was only Alaska and Washington. You didn't make it.
Yep, and then Hawaii. Yeah,
Hawaii.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the reason why you were moving so much is because your father was a criminal.
Yep.
So it basically wasn't moving, more fleeing than anything else.
It was always fleeing.
So how old are you? What was happening?
So I guess I would say I was born into it.
Okay.
My dad always ran from a lot of his obligations, one of them being child support. My sister's 10 years older than me. So by the time that I was born in, all the chaos and the drama between him and his ex-wife had started.
Oh.
So I think, mostly my entire life, I remember moving all over. Yeah. Since I was born, probably. Yeah.
And it's extremely difficult because you have no stability.
Mhm.
Of friends or anything they can establish. It's important for a kid at that age.
So important.
You also mentioned that you didn't go to school until you were in sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm assuming, over a decade,
Mm-hmm.
you were just fleeing along with your father.
Yep.
Can you go more into detail into that if you don't mind?
About like my dad and the traveling and all the
Yeah.
things. So traveling was interesting. Like I'd said in my bio, there wasn't a lot of like fun or anything like that. As far as school went, I think I put in there, my sister taught me how to read on an atlas.
Mm-hmm.
Math was like the basics. I remember there was these magazines called Highlights, and I would go places sometimes and they would have those, and like that was like school for me.
Oh, okay.
Or they would like get little like bullshit little like workbooks, and like
Okay.
that's what I would
Okay.
learn on. But looking back, there wasn't anything. Like I have children now, so looking back, it's like I learned no core of anything, and
Yeah.
it affected me into my adult life. Even so into college, because you need those basics a
Yeah.
lot.
Mhm.
And for me coming in, I had missed so much of them that I still sometimes fall behind because of it. Like I said, traveling was weird. At one point it was me, my mom, my sister, my dad, and a dog
Wow.
inside of like a Peterbilt like Freightliner. Yeah, a lot of times. Me and my sister sleeping up top in like a tiny little bunk, my parents down below. Um
And
Weird.
you're a big girl.
Yeah.
Big, I mean tall.
I am a big girl.
Let me
Yes.
rephrase that.
Yes.
Tall.
I'm a tall, like,
Yeah.
sturdy
Yeah.
I mean, I was probably 5 foot by that age, you know? I
Yeah.
was tall.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's not comfortable, like,
no.
sleeping in those corners like that.
No, and then imagine being trapped in a space with your parents who are already, like, struggling with their own issues and their own substance abuse. There wasn't a lot of privacy, so a lot of exposure to a lot of things that were
So
just
they're doing all this stuff in front of you guys.
yeah. Yeah, or, you know, there was times in my life when I found out some, like, pretty, like, bad news or, like, things that I, like, didn't wanna find out. Um, I lost my train of thought, I'm so
That's okay.
sorry.
You got it.
Um,
No rush.
what was your question?
We're talking about how I mentioned how your parents would do their things in front of you, and you
Yes.
found out about bad news.
Yes.
You know,
So, you know, they would often say I was sleeping. Once my sister moved out, it was just me. And so they would drive and I would sleep in that bed in the back. And I just remember listening and hearing some traumatic things, some weird
mhm.
things, a lot of glorified like drug use, a lot of just very like the like era of my life was very strange. Even looking back on it, I'm just like, it almost makes me cringe because it's just like, how did we survive? Like, I mean, at one point we were like, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but fuck it.
Go
We were like,
ahead.
we were like peeing like in a bottle with like a funnel in it. And like, that's what we like had to like pee in. And I would say like, as far as my parents, I'll mention parents a lot, but I also think I want to point out that my mom was like also a victim, a, like she was a
Yes,
victim.
he thought he was stuck.
Yeah, and you know what? He, isolated her and he removed her and, you know, he didn't physically abuse her, but
About control.
yes,
Yeah.
mentally,
Mhm.
financially. So when I say my parents, you know, my mom does hold some sort of responsibility, but she was also just in a fucked place and couldn't get out, you know?
Yeah, sometimes at that moment you try whatever you can, try your
Survival.
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately it's collateral damage.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Going back you said your sister left.
Yes.
What happened?
So we're 8 years apart, me and this sister. And my dad was always just very hard on her.
Mhm.
I mean, he was hard on me, but when I say he was hard on her, it was like 100 times more because that was like his stepdaughter. Um,
Okay.
she was with me, like I said, she like raised me, but she got to a point where things were getting like really bad. My parents threw her out. And my sister, like, God bless her, she's an angel, but she like survived. Like, she went and got her own place, worked full time, like, drove her bike everywhere. My sister also has a really great story. Hers just isn't drugs. Um, so around 16, my dad like freaked out on my sister one more time, and that was it. And so then we packed up the next day or like a week later.
Mhm.
We left my sister. I didn't get to tell her bye.
Oh, wow.
I remember sobbing because I knew my best friend was,
Yeah.
now what am I going to do? I have a dog. So they took me and they didn't let me talk to her for like a long time.
Wow.
I don't know if it's years. I would have to like ask my sister because I was just a kid, but I know it was close to a year.
Wow.
So I lost complete contact because they said that I think they went to try and see her one time and she had like a belly button ring in and they like basically told her like she was a sinner.
Okay, but you could do
They can
I'm
do
sorry.
they can do drugs. This is the sick part of like addicts in
But a
general.
piercing is a oh my gosh.
They looked for any reason.
Yeah.
My dad did again. My mom was collateral damage.
Mhm.
That was her daughter. She was afraid. But yeah, losing my sister, it was tough.
It was your support.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
best friend.
Yeah, out of all that chaos, she was the only, like, kinda, like, hope that you had,
Oh yeah. I
Wow.
remember I would get sick and she would be the one that like took care of me. My dad would be like, he was so mean if we got sick. We like weren't allowed to be sick. But my sister would always take care of me. And like there was times that I would just like, I remember one time I just woke up and I threw up all over her
You're sick.
and she just hugged me and just took care of me. And so when she left, it was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What
can't I
now?
can't even imagine. I
Scary.
can't even imagine. You mentioned that you were doing, you go all these, highlight magazines.
Hmm.
You mentioned that your books were your escape. That
Hmm.
happened I'm assuming that happened after your sister left.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how was that for you?
So, I look back and reading really was like an escape, and it's so funny because I don't read at all anymore. Like I want to. Maybe it's like a trauma response. I don't know, but books are like my escape. But thing about living, I mean, I was kind of just like no one even knew I existed. So thing about living like that, you don't get to go a lot of places.
Yeah.
So the books that I had were either from my parents or little ones that I got in like a Goodwill. I remember like this one was about this like hound dog. And I swear to God, I read that book so many times that I remembered the words in it. Like I could tell you the story.
Wow.
They also, as time progressed, they had like a TV in the back of the 18 wheeler,
Okay.
but there was never kids movies. And so I like grew up watching like Silence of the Lambs on like repeat.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 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 like Silence of the Lambs, Kiss the Girls was like another one, and I mean, I was just a
Not,
kid.
not kiss movies.
It's
That's not kiss movies at
no,
all.
no, I was terrified, and then sometimes they would have, like, books about, like, murder, and I remember there was, like, this one book that was about this mom that, like, killed her kids, and there was some, like, those, like, documentary books
Yeah.
where there's, like, pictures. There's, like, pictures of her, like, slaughtered kids and,
And
like
how old were you?
oh, probably, like, 8 or 9.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was weird. And I'd read those books over and over again because it's all I had.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of fear just from situations that I was in. Like even watching those movies, like terrified me. It's like murder and assault and all kinds of things. And here I am just like watching it as a little
I
kid.
mean, yeah, it's all you have, and you don't know anything else besides that.
No,
So you
nothing.
don't have anything to compare it to.
Nothing.
It's
Yeah.
like Nick and Knight or Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Well, and
So
when we'd end up in hotels, because we would end up there in hotels when they were gone, I could like sneak and watch like Disney and like stuff like that,
it's funny.
Nickelodeon.
You see, can watch Disney, but kids will be watching porn. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes. Literally,
Yeah.
literally doing that. But I wasn't allowed to like play Pokemon.
Okay.
Very weird. Very
I'm
weird.
sorry.
Yeah. No, I know. Fucking Pokemon, man. Like,
Yeah, it's like that's bad, but everything else is going on. You can
yeah.
see somebody like Silence of the Lamb, the movie with the guy has the guy in the
Puts the lotion on the
yeah,
skin. Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like a kid's movie.
Sure.
So even those movies though were kind of like my escape. Um, because what else was I gonna do? Toys were very limited. My dad would like make us get rid of them. And he would say
Oh,
like it was a test to see if we could like handle like living in the real world or like, I don't know, some like weird shit.
yeah.
So I remember there was toys that I like loved so much and I would just throw them away and we just keep it moving. And no one really questioned it because my dad was scary. And I'll preface about my dad too. He's a really broken man. It took me a lot of years to fully separate myself from him. But like the rest of addicts, like he's sick and suffering. And I don't hate my dad by any means. But as I've gotten older, I've just started to realize how fucked things were, especially now that I have like my child. If my dad was sober, didn't grow up in an abusive alcoholic household too, my dad might be a totally different
Hmm.
person. Unfortunately, he chose a path that continued his like trauma.
Keyword chose.
Yep, 100% chose.
Yeah.
So yeah, with my dad, but I definitely don't want to like villainize him, but at the same time, he was the villain.
But not doing that. It's also how you think that way. It makes you a good person. But
Thanks.
the reality is that it happened.
Yeah, it did.
So you can't sugarcoat it. I mean, you can if you want to,
Yeah,
but the reality is that he did those things.
yeah.
That he did, not think about you guys
No,
at all. Like
no.
he was thinking about, oh, I don't want to carry all this stuff all the time. Might as well throw it out.
Yep.
Not thinking the fact that, dude, you're going to state every other month.
Yep.
Like, and these kids are not having any childhood at all.
No. No,
So,
I remember there was times they would leave in the morning, and they would be gone, like, because my dad would sporadically work, and he was like an 18-wheeler gasoline truck driver,
okay.
and we lived in Orlando in a hotel, and I remember my mom would have to, like, get up really early and take him, and I remember every day they would leave, I would, like, start bawling my eyes out because I thought, "What if they don't come back?"
Yeah.
But I would be in much in trouble if I had, like, went out and asked for help because now comes, like, a investigation.
Yep.
So I would just sit there and, like, hysterically cry for, like, an hour and a half. I'd watch, like, Disney trying to, like, make it better, and then they would
Hmm.
come back and then, like
Yeah.
but fear, fear, fear.
The irony is that they're leaving, right? And when you come back, you feel so a relief knowing that it's gonna turn to shit in a few minutes afterwards.
Yeah, but at least, at least
But
someone's there.
yeah, it's all you knew.
Yeah, and I was so afraid of, like,
Oh,
my dad and stuff that I would not I probably would have died in that room, like, I would not have walked out because I'd have been like, "Is this, like, a test or something?" Like, is he waiting outside?
yeah.
Yeah, very strange, yeah.
Wow, wow. And so fast forward, you mentioned that you went to, oh, yeah, actually, you went to 6th grade. How was that for you, having no structure before that and not going to a classroom for the kids and a teacher, how hard was that for you?
So, I did have some structure in the sense of like, like abuse and like I will say like I was not a disrespectful child. Um I was a good kid, but the structure you're meaning is like school, like
Yeah,
come sit down, open a
yeah,
combination
yeah,
type of thing.
yeah.
So when I went in, I was terrified. I was like 5'8" at this point. So I was like,
In 6th grade.
yes. So I was like
Okay.
huge.
So
Everyone,
you stick out like a sore thumb.
yes. And we were poor. And my parents didn't like believe in buying like stylish clothes. It was always like Goodwill and stuff.
Mhm.
So I kind of came into school weird. I like had friends, but as soon as I went to school, I was kind of an angry person. Um,
Can you blame it?
right. My dad was very much like fight, 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 like always fist fight. I fought a lot growing up, fought a lot of my adult life. But
So
6th grade is when it really started.
okay.
And then I just started getting in trouble. Like at this point, I like didn't care because, I wasn't allowed to talk to boys and I wasn't allowed to stay the night anywhere. And I wasn't allowed to do all these things. And I just started being like, I'll do
Okay.
whatever the fuck I want
Yeah.
because I've been suffering for 12 years now going into 6th grade. Like there's boys, like sign
Yeah.
me up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Best friends, like
No.
what?
It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
You're suppressed for all these years, and now you see people around you differently
Hmm.
that have a different kind of life, and now you're exposed to things that you like and want to explore. Of course, you're gonna react the way you react. This is normal.
And I remember like being in school and there's like stuff that we were not even like English and math. There's just like stuff like you were saying, like the structure. I didn't know that we had to stand up. This is back years ago in Texas and do the Pledge of
Abilities.
Allegiance. I didn't know what that meant. Like we skipped those parts of my life. My parents now would like never say it. Even my mom would be like, no, we taught you, but no, you didn't.
That's their guilt talking.
Yes. And my mom carries a lot of it, but you didn't. And that's okay.
Yeah,
But like a combination, holy shit. The
yeah,
lunch line, like paying with lunch money, late bells, like all of that stuff, dress code, just confused and got made fun of in the beginning. You're tall, you're weird. As I got older, it started to change because I was kind of like, I'll make everyone like me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
will have friends.
yeah.
Um, and I did, but I went very like dark. I was very much like wear black all the time. My parents would say I was like a devil worshiper.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm, at one point I almost was.
Yeah,
But they would say, like, so I'd go to school and I'd have my friends bring me like clothes and I'd change at school and put on like dark eyeliner because I was like emo. And then I'd go all day. And then before I came home, I would change and like, be like Alexa again.
yeah, yeah.
But yes, school was hard.
At that point, kids do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Young girls like want a shorter skirt, so they wait until they go to school
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So but uh, so far what I'm hearing from your dad is it's all about control. It's,
Exactly.
it's all about control, and the fact that you were so fearful of him that you wouldn't leave a room,
Hmm.
but not knowing that if he's coming back or not.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And what's
That's
crazy
tough.
about him is like he didn't get as physically aggressive with me as he did my sister.
Hmm.
But watching it, once she moved out, it got a little different. But watching it was terrifying for
Yeah.
me because I know I'm just sitting here watching my best friend, go through all of this like shit. But he led with fear. My dad, that's his control tactic. It always has been, was
Hmm.
just fear. Fear of the police, fear of DCF, fear of the devil.
Being exposed. That's
Yes.
all it is.
Yeah, and he was so fearful of that. Like
Yeah.
my grandma would not see us for 10 years.
Wow.
She wouldn't know if we were alive or dead. Back then it was like beepers and
I know.
weird phones,
Yeah, yeah.
so nobody was getting in touch with anybody.
No social media,
Nothing.
nothing like that. So
Like paper letters.
Mhm.
And we weren't writing those,
No.
so
They have an address.
yeah, no, we never did. Yeah, a
Yeah.
PO box
Yeah.
sometimes. My sister doesn't remember any of our childhood, which is so funny. I think she's, like, completely blocked that out,
Well,
like
someone does that.
and she did. I really believe that she pushed it out, but I remember every single thing that took place because I watched it. I just sat and watched it, and so sometimes I'll tell her stuff, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "You don't remember, like, this, and this?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, I do. We don't have to go into it,
Yeah.
but every single thing I remember."
Not I will never compare my story to you, but my I was the oldest of four,
Wow.
and my dad growing up. Now we're good friends now, but my dad had a drug issue growing up. And I'm being the oldest, I got the blow everything.
Yeah, I bet.
I got my ass beat every single day for
Mm,
just stupid shit.
mhm.
Um, and to the point that it affected me in school.
Wow.
But I never thought about how that affected my brothers.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I never understood that because at the beginning, I was like, I had it worse than you.
Mhm.
Why are you complaining?
Mhm.
And they're like, no, but like you said,
Mhm.
they saw like
Horrible.
it was three boys and one girl, and the three boys slept in the same room.
Mhm.
And my younger brother and I shared a bed until I was like 18.
Wow.
And my brother's big dude.
Yeah.
My brother's like as big as Reggie.
Yeah. Survival, though.
Yeah,
I mean
and but he remembers, me getting my ass beat in the same bed. He's sleeping next to me
mhm.
for no reason. My dad would come drunk or
Mm.
whatever. But I never. Oh, you said about your sister. It reminded me, of course, your story's I don't even close to what happened to you.
I
However,
mean, sorta though, because your dad was beating the shit out of you. That
he,
really sucks.
yeah, he was,
Yeah.
and it really until an adult affected me. And I love my dad.
Yeah, of
I
course.
love my dad. My dad and I, gratefully, we healed through it. And right now he's one of my biggest cheerleaders.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's weird because out of I love my siblings, but I'm the only one that I'm actually close to him.
Wow.
The irony of all that,
Wow.
and yes, there were things that happened, during I didn't know when I was in Iraq, when it happened. They lost their house.
Wow.
My parents had a house that they won to the government, depending on their income bracket, you're eligible for that.
Yeah, yeah.
But as you know, when you have drug issues, so my dad refinanced the house. They had no mortgage, and he refinanced it because he wanted a garage.
Damn.
But my mom, being kind of she had to because she was afraid of him. My mom would sleep in the couch until I remember I was in fourth grade until I was in high school, and she
Wow.
would only go into the room just to calm him down because he wanted to be stupid or something like that.
Well, she was also a victim.
Uh-huh. No, my mom's my hero.
Yeah, I bet.
My mom is like, my mom taught me how to be a good man.
Mhm.
And I learned there are a lot of mistakes,
Mhm.
a lot of mistakes. One of my I think one my point I'm bringing is that sometimes we forget that people around us also get traumatized, but things happen to us.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, well, I understood that until like years later, until I started going to school. And for many years, I'll be mad at my siblings. I was talking about, I was the one getting my ass beat every day,
Yeah, taking the blunt of everything, yeah.
but I forgot that, my dad left, abandoned them when I was in Iraq, and then they had no
Oh,
power for 6 months, and they had,
oh,
I had to throw a extension cord from my grandma's house to my
wow.
house to have the fridge running.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So one day my brother tells me, Eric, yeah, I rather be being beaten than feel abandoned.
Mhm.
And that really hit me.
Mhm.
And I didn't know what to say, because like, Eric, he had a good point. Say, Eric, when you get your ass beat in a few minutes, you're over it.
Right. You carry those emotional
Yeah.
scars.
But when you're abandoned, you question yourself, like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah.
And my brothers were like, when I was in the army, they were like in their teens.
Wow.
They were in their teens, and I forgot about all that. I wasn't. I was 24. I forgot about how young they were when those happened.
And trauma's weird. Like,
Mhm.
you say there's no like, "Oh, I don't wanna compare," but honestly, you can't compare trauma because people just react to things differently than all of us.
Yeah,
So, like, what your brother saw, I mean, so valid because it is horrifying to watch someone go through that, but at the same time, getting your ass beat all the time is
yeah.
fucking awful. So the stories we got are very similar.
And the irony is that him being the younger brother, sometimes has the most reasoning when I used to have really bad anger issues.
Yeah.
Doesn't help the fact that I had that past growing up. Then I went to war when I was like 22.
Wow.
So when you mention that you're peeing in a funnel, I think about, yeah, when I was in Iraq, I used to pee in a bottle because we couldn't stop.
See, look
Yeah.
at us. Our stories are getting close.
Yeah, we couldn't stop. First thing I thought about, I was like, yeah, I can relate to that. What mentioned about piss bottles because we couldn't stop doing patrols,
Yeah.
so we had piss on the run. Um, but unfortunately, like you said before, trauma is trauma.
Mhm.
You know, I don't like when people try like to trauma bond.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. It's not that it's different when we're trying to empathize with somebody.
Mhm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But when you try to, but I try to measure my trauma with yours.
Mhm.
I went through worse stuff. I
Yeah.
kind of like measuring contents.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the problem I have. And it's
Yes.
something that I'll be very transparent. I went to a lot of veterans events and I will stop going for that reason
Really?
because they were like, oh, I killed 2 people or I did this and I
Mm.
did that and my own experience, like, if you did that, you would be talking about it just that freely,
Right.
you know?
Right. That's heavy.
Exactly,
That's heavy. Yeah.
exactly, and I had a problem with that because I wanna go there to just relax and forget about those things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yes, it'll come up because you said it's when we bond in a way that, wow, you went through this stuff, now I understand why you're the way you are, and become even deeper friends.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
different.
Yes.
That's totally it's beautiful, it's great, but when you're trying to, measure compare my trauma with yours, and, I went through more stuff than you, like, I don't care.
Yeah. It's getting weird. Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
So I had to stop going to most events, um, because of that, and a lot of people might not agree with this, but, I really don't give a fuck. Most people who brag so much about things, they didn't do the things that they're talking about.
Duh. Yeah. They're never true.
It's like it took me years, like 20 years exactly, for me to be okay with things I did over there.
Yeah. I bet.
And also with my wife. It's funny. We were in the backyard. You know how she can be rough sometimes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's the
And
best part of her.
yeah, yeah. But this thing is funny with her. You have to understand where she's coming from. And sometimes you gotta stop being so sensitive.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I learned that with her a lot. So we were in the backyard just having a drink, and I start crying for some reason. I
Mm.
said, Eric, it's 20 years, get over it. I'm like, the fuck?
You don't ever fully get over it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I understood what she was talking about at that moment. It's
Yeah.
like you can't let that burden you because you have more life to live.
Yeah.
And at the moment, my reaction was like, "What are you talking about? I want to get over it." Because
Right. Defense. Yeah.
exactly. But what she meant was that, Eric, you have a life now. You're no longer are in the war anymore. You have to worry about people shooting at you
Right.
or bombs going off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're living the present.
Yeah. But there's a cage sometimes in your
Oh,
head,
yeah.
and it's hard to get out of it
Mhm.
sometimes. And I think not everybody like goes into that cage. But even 20 years ago, sometimes that tear probably is gonna roll, and sometimes I'm gonna get those like sweaty palms, and
Yeah, no,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But she's totally right
Yeah.
because probably people like us, well, we may live in it for a minute. We might sit there and just sit in it. And so he's the same way. We do need people sometimes probably to say, like, hey, 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 you don't got to go back anymore. Like, stay here with us in the
Yeah.
present. But it's still very hard.
It's hard. And I think when that moment was going on, um, uh, um, I was going through a lot of stuff
Hmm.
that I don't make it about me, but
Yeah, no, please.
I went through a divorce at the moment. I
Mm.
had a spouse was someone that's supportive at the time. Now I get a spouse who was fully supportive,
Hmm.
and I didn't know how to handle that.
Yeah. It's weird if you're not used to it.
I didn't know how to handle that because I'm used to people not caring.
Yeah, me too.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I get it.
so she comes along and she cares about everything's going on with me, my mental health, my own health, and I'm like, back off.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
this.
but I didn't have shit.
Yeah. You never do. You
No,
never do.
I didn't have anything. So my first, everything was my defense. My anger was, and like you mentioned before, I, when you mentioned, you were more rebellious when you start going to school.
Yeah.
I did it in my late 30s.
Yeah. Said fuck this.
Yeah, in my late 30s. And unfortunately, it happened when when I met Ariana.
Wow.
And that's why I told you before we went to the studio. It's like, I'm the man who I am today because of her.
I love that.
I have no shame saying that because, that's why I don't understand men who are misogynist.
Mhm.
I don't fucking get it.
Yeah.
Like, it for me, it's idiotic. Like,
Mhm.
just because you have boobs doesn't mean you're stupid. You
Thank
know,
you, yeah.
I don't understand that. We have a brain. Let's not get into that. But anyway, um, but going back when to you is like, now you now you're in school, you're going through all these things and stuff like that. And you mentioned something in the beginning about how your parents glorified drugs, right?
Yes.
So, when how that played a role when you started using?
So crazy as it is, I knew I was gonna end up with a needle in my arm. I literally
You
did.
did?
I did. It was never like an if, it was a when.
Really?
Yeah,
How so?
my dad, he played sports and he had like a colorful life. And he was an IV user and he would tell these like amazing stories, fun stories, great stories. He's playing sports amazing because it can't do that for you. It really can just pep you up, right? Stimulants in general.
Correct.
Um, so it seemed fun. He would talk about getting sober, but he'd say like NA and AA was like a cult and only God could deliver him.
Sure.
Um, yeah, so what was my train of thought again? I
Talking
have a
about
bad brain, just so
no,
you
me
know.
too. But no, no, no. I can relate to that. I had several head injuries, so I do that all the time. That's why I empathize with it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm the last person.
Okay, cool.
No, no. Um,
Because I get nervous and it
no,
happens.
no.
Yeah.
I relate to that. Which is why my vision is the way it is because due to the head injury.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. I figure
Cool.
shit all the time.
Okay, cool.
Like I said, so you're
Okay,
you're
cool.
in the right place. No, we're talking about. I mentioned when you started using yourself.
Yes.
Having that background of having drugs being glorified, and you just mentioned just now. You know, your father never told you, "Oh, this is bad for you," or
No.
so end up happening this and that. You have all you knew is like all these lies about how drugs made your life better.
Yeah, and fun and silly. And then my sister, that's his daughter, the one that's 10 years older than me.
Hmm.
She struggled with substance abuse too. And so I would hear it like from him about her. I remember when I was like 16, I was already looking for like harder drugs. Like I was, into like cocaine and like Xanax and stuff, but I was like asking around, like, does anyone
At
have it?
16.
Yes, because I wanted it so bad. And I remember when I got exposed to shooting up, I was like not afraid. I was excited. I'm like, yes, like 2 weeks in, I was like banging meth. So, you know, um, to me, it just felt like it was going to be like the best thing ever. And then, of course, when I tried it, it was life changing for me in that moment, and I remember thinking, like, I'll never stop. I know
Yeah,
that.
that's why it's so addicting.
Yeah, this is my best friend.
Yeah.
I can think clearly.
Now looking back, given everything you know now, do you think that was more of an escape? With everything, that way they had to deal with things going on at that moment,
Mhm.
or just that you thought that's the norm, how people just lived.
So I think I always knew that it was weird. Because I'm like, and even like when I got involved in it, I was very much like in a denial, drug addict kind of like,
Okay,
because I think of my bringing up, I just thought like, okay, I do crystal meth. Like, what's the problem? I'm not stealing. I'm not in
that's your
prison.
environment.
Yeah. So it
That's the
seemed
environment you
normal.
grew up.
I definitely used to escape though. I remember like being little and like drinking NyQuil. My head is like so loud. Like my head is still so loud. And back then it was really hard for me to escape from it because there was a
Yep.
lot more in there.
Mhm.
And I just remember chugging NyQuil. I wanted anything that would take it away. It did not matter what it was. I would huff, I'd drink, I'd shoot, I'd snort. It did not matter as long as this went quiet.
Yep.
That's all I needed. That's all I wanted. It was never about like, I mean, yes, was it fun in moments? Yeah. But I was never the addict that was like, oh, like I'm just going to do it for fun. No, it was always for the cause
When
of
you're suffering.
feeling better.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're talking about how, you know, we use these things just to not for an escape sometimes, more of a healing process.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that that's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we know. And unfortunately, when you're in an environment that is you're constantly exposed to things and then they don't educate you on other options,
Yeah.
like well, like honestly, I can't blame you like for things that you did because
Yeah.
you didn't know any better.
Yeah. It just made sense.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I got and so I'm severe, and medicated ADHD too. You'll see me, I fidget the whole time,
Don't worry about it.
hands moving, I'm biting my lips. So I think that also affected my childhood a lot. I think I struggled with the racing thoughts and the emotion, like dysregulation and all those things. It was just like missed. Um,
Yeah, of course.
Totally
Yeah,
missed.
yeah,
Yeah, totally missed. So, and as I got older, weed was my first drug and then drinking. And then I think it was like pills, coke, it just like escalated. But every single one that I did got a little better. So weed was cool, but then drinking, I can black out and not remember anything.
yeah.
Cocaine, oh, this is fun. I immediately feel happy, like all the things. And then I got stimulants. And for somebody
But
with
yeah,
ADHD,
yeah.
I thought I was like totally normal. I'm like, wow, like there's nothing.
It helps you like slow down everything.
Yep. Literally, there was like, and some people say, like, oh, I hate being like a zombie. Meds make me like, sometimes I'm like, I would love to be a zombie because I feel so much. Like empathy is like almost my downfall. Like I feel so much. And so, I'm working on that as I move forward,
What do you mean by that? By empathy?
um, I am constantly always trying to like meet people where they're at. I oftentimes like dive in with people. Um, and I wouldn't say like I absorb like their energy or anything, but um it can be like a downfall for me because um one, I'll end up putting people above like before myself. Two, I get too invested in their emotions.
Yep.
And I'm actually like such a weirdo now because
Stop saying that.
sorry.
Yeah, weird.
Sorry. I lost my train of thought because I'm a weirdo.
No, you're talking about how you get invested in people, and but you're
Yes.
so second.
Yeah, I do, and then I dive into their emotions and then I fill them with them and then I start almost judging them because I'm like, well, why don't you feel as heavily as I do? Like I'm feeling more for your trauma than you're feeling for yourself. So it can be like exhausting. That's also like my superpower too. Like
It's a good thing that you care.
I love people.
It's a thing. That's why I became a therapist, because I care. When I got out of the VA, I mean, out of the army, I wanted to help people. However, I helped too much.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I didn't understand that I can't be everything for everyone,
Right.
and that was my downfall. Like I would just be busy all day,
Yep.
and because people needed me for a ride or this and that, and on top of that, I was going to school,
Shit.
and doing my practice, but I thought that the more good I did, the better my life is gonna be.
Yeah.
But then I was super overweight. I was not healthy. I was super depressed.
Probably very stressed
Yeah,
all the time.
extremely depressed. Suicidal. But I was all quiet about it
Of
because I
course.
thought the more people I help, then that will go away eventually.
Shit.
And
No.
and then no, that's not worth that way.
I think once you work through that trauma, then it kind of does. I always say
Yeah,
like showing up, doing the next right thing. But I don't think that you can do that until you get through
yeah.
the hardship.
I think once you heal, then you're more selective of people that you help,
Yes.
because there are people that actually you can't help.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. I think that's why I work with addicts like I do. One, just because I believe that we can survive and we can make it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, even with them, the empathy will get me sometimes, just investing and their recovery or investing. I don't take it personally ever, but it
Yeah,
sucks to watch people get sentenced out.
of course,
It
of
sucks to watch
course.
them go to prison, go back to
Because they
rehab.
chose that,
They
and
did.
they chose that path,
They
and
did.
knowing like, look, it's something better for you, because you could have been way worse.
Yeah.
You could have
Yeah.
been way worse, and you chose a different path. And people say, "Oh, sometimes people don't have an option." Like, yes, they do.
They
The,
do.
the problem is that people don't want to face the consequences,
Yes.
or it's too hard,
Right.
or they don't want to go, so they do whatever's more comfortable, despite that it's the wrong thing.
Right.
And then,
So I always say this to people about the choice. So I believe that very first one, or when you first get sober, when you make that choice to go from sober to picking up, like that is 100%. You are choosing to do that because you know better. But once you're in addiction, I always say this, like you do lose that choice because if I had had the choice to be a better mom to my kids, I would have done that. But there was no choice for me because either I was trying to get sick or I was trying not to get sick or I was trying not to feel. I've watched people pregnant, unfortunately, use. And I use this girl as an example, but we were driving. She was beside me, about 6 months pregnant. She's smoking heroin, or it was fentanyl. She's smoking fentanyl. um, throwing up every time in a cup, holding her stomach, crying, but still getting
But
high.
yeah, still getting high.
So I tell people, I believe in that moment in that girl. Like if she had had the choice, she would not have been smoking all fucking tinfoil, fentanyl, crying and puking. Like that's not even pleasant, you know?
No,
That's
not
horrible.
even getting high. It's
No,
just
just and you're suffering and your baby's suffering and she knows it. And so I always say, like, if we had a choice mid addiction, I would have done it, dude. You know, if I could have been better for it's my kids. If I could have shown up and done more for my kids, I would have. But that choice was no longer there because one, I don't want them to see me like that. Two, I'm selfish as fuck. You know, I say I don't want them to see me like that, but at the same time, I'm putting drugs first.
yeah.
I did all the
And
things.
most addicts are selfish.
Oh,
Um,
selfish.
yeah,
Yes.
because they put
Yes.
drugs above everything.
Yes. And
Yeah,
but I always say that because it's like everyone's like, is it a disease? Is it a choice? You know, there's so many like opinions out there.
yeah,
But as somebody who like lived in addiction and now in recovery, we do lose that choice fairly quickly.
hmm
You know, and same with my husband. You know, I watched him, he didn't want to end up doing the shit that he did. He didn't like want to end up going to prison. I'm sure had he been able to control that, he wouldn't have left all of us to go away, you know, but we lose that choice mid addiction.
yeah.
Now, when you're, if me right now, I'm almost got 4 years. If right now I leave here and I go down Dope Man and I pick me up a bag, I'm making that fucking choice.
Exactly.
Is my addiction screaming? Is it telling me to go use? 100%.
Of course.
But when I have it in my hands, if I make that choice to do whatever I'm going to do with it, that is the part where it's a
Yeah.
choice. But after that, like let's say I went and relapsed, I made that choice. Once that's done, I'm obsessing. I'm using everything. I'm guilty. Oh my gosh, I'm so guilty because recovery is so important to me. Like the guilt that we feel, you know, yeah, drugs are weird.
Drugs are
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, they're horrible.
They're horrible.
Um, and they changed everything about me. They changed everything about my family. Unfortunately, it shaped my kids, you know. I'm sure they'll end up in therapy when they get older because how shitty it is to have
They're
a
gonna need
mom
it.
and a dad addicted, you know.
So let's go into that. Can you mention in your bio that at one point you lost your kids?
Mhm.
How many kids you have?
So I have three.
Okay.
We have five altogether though. But at that point it was just my three. Never lost them to the state.
Okay, good.
But I kind of give people credit for that sometimes because at least they had to come take them from you. I just kind of stepped away.
Okay.
I did. One, because every time my kids would see me, they'd be like, "Why are you so skinny?" Like they knew. "Why are you so skinny? Why does your face?" My was a picker. She's like, "Why does your face look like that?" Like it sucks because they're starting to know at seven,
Yeah,
8, 9 years
you
old.
don't want them to.
No. And so, you know, I left and there was selfishness in there too, of course, because if I didn't have them or any worry about them, then I'm going to go get high. That's a perfect excuse
Yeah,
for me to go bang the biggest shot that I can, right?
yeah.
Because
They're at
I
home.
left my kids.
Yeah.
But so I did step away from them. I still think looking back that it was the right decision. I hate
How
it.
so?
Well, I was so unstable and homeless back then.
Mm,
I almost got caught using in front of them. They've never seen it. They've never seen me using, and I've almost
okay.
been caught multiple times there in the end, like, actually, like, shooting up. And for me, that's I remember as a kid, I remember seeing it. It's horrifying. And so I think that at the end, it was coming to that point, find me, like, knotted out, find, like, needles places, you know, something you just don't want your kids to be a part of. As soon as I got sober, I started working my way back into their lives, but, yeah, I stepped away from my children, I really did.
So you think you can back then, even though you say yourself, but you were suffering so much with your addiction
Mhm.
that you knew that they were better off without you at that moment. You
They
think,
were.
I know it's kind of fucked up to say,
Mhm.
but the reality is like, if you're not taking care of yourself, it would have been worse for your kids.
Yeah,
It
or
would
end
have
up
been
in
worse.
foster care,
Yeah. And then
or
it'd be really difficult to get them back.
yeah, and, you know, I'm bouncing around all these houses. I tried in the beginning, because it was kind of like a slow, decline, but I tried in the beginning to keep them close, my addiction at that point, because I started on Adderall real heavy and drinking, and already before I even met meth or fentanyl or anything, Adderall had kinda taken over my life. So, you know, um, yeah.
So, I mean, I can't even begin to imagine, the pain and suffering you when knowing that, because just seeing you, I know you're a good mom.
Thanks. Thanks. I
Because
try.
Because somebody who care about the kids are strong enough to like, I need to get clean
Yeah,
because I need to be there.
yeah.
So what was that moment where you're like, well, this is going out of control and it made you into going to detox? What's going on in their life, your point of life?
So, I'd lost my house that I was in. He was going to prison, my husband. I had like none of my kids. Um, Towards the end, I was like just bouncing place to place. I was like in a house that had like rats. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like they're like chihuahuas. Like they were so scary. Like I was living in a house like outside, like in a shed. I'm just like nodding off everywhere. Like it's getting gross. Like people are dying all the time, like hep C and just like dirty it was just getting to that point and I was starting to become that person. I swore I'd never share needles. I
Uh-huh.
swore it. I share needles. By the grace of God, I walked away without like any hep C or anything like that.
Thank God.
But I deserved it just like everybody else because I was out there making those decisions that
You're not thinking
not at
anymore.
all.
And think about getting high.
Yeah.
As the fastest way to get high, you just give me the needle you have in your
Yep.
hand.
And it's a separate addiction.
Mhm.
The needle itself was actually what took hold of my life. I mean, I worshiped it. It was like every thing to me. So that was always like my first go-to. So bouncing around horrible people. It's getting close to the end. I'm running out of money. I'm running out of drugs. I meet the guy that I mentioned in the story. He's just there. Um, my friends kind of tried to get me to go around him, and I really did have this horrible feeling about him. I just knew. I just knew.
But you grew up with, the
Yeah, it was kind of
not
normal.
yeah, not a good example.
Yeah, the sickness was
Yep.
sort of normal.
Mhm.
And I remember being like afraid of him. I didn't want to take his drugs. I didn't want to do anything. He gave off that vibe. Like in drug world for women, it's like really hard. Um, it's hard for everyone. But the expectation of a woman is like, if you want to get high, like, what are you going to do for me? And unfortunately, the culture is we are all so desperate and we want to get high. Like we do all these things.
Mhm.
But I knew this guy specifically was danger. So I avoided him and I avoided him and I avoided him. And then I was desperate. Wanted to get high, didn't have anything clean, asked him to take me places. Honestly, all I asked him to do was take me to Walmart and he could just drop me off. And I told him, I said, listen, I've been hurt before. I'm not here to do anything for you. I have like a boyfriend. Like I really had this conversation, like this adult conversation with somebody. I don't know why I even did it because he gave two fucks.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you promise, you promise. Like, and he's like, oh, I promise. Like I would never, like you're a good person. 5 minutes in, the chaos is starting. He's grabbing, he's pulling, he's squeezing. And I'm like, first, I'm like, okay, I told you to stop. Like,
Yeah.
please stop. Okay, I told you to stop. And then it's getting like more and more aggressive. And I'm like, you need to let me out. Like, let me out. He's not letting me out of the car. He's flying through red lights. He's turning on right so that he doesn't have to stop. And I'm like, I'm about to die. Like, I don't know what it was that day because I've been in some real shitty situations.
Mhm.
That day, um, I just I just knew. I knew that that was gonna be one of my last things that I ever like, I just knew. Like, every red flag, the pit of my stomach, I just knew.
Wow.
So we're driving, and we get to a house with another person who I know who had, like, hurt women. And as soon as we got there, he's like, hold on, let me come around, like, let me get you high, like, let me get the dope." And as soon as he stepped out on this side, I took off my fucking flip-flops and I booked it. When I tell you that I ran like as fast as I could, I had no phone. I texted my sister and said, listen, here, like, this is where I am. I'm on this road. I don't know that I'm going to be around. If you don't hear from me, like, will you please call the police? I remember I would not look back because I was like, he's going to be in that car behind me. So I run all the way down. And, I should go back. Religion with me is kind of a thing. But what started this entire adventure with this man was that this kid was talking about God and talking about Jesus. And we were like all high. And I was very bitter at God because of my parents. And sometimes I still kind of am.
I mean, I don't blame you.
Very, very bitter. And he made me so angry, like just rubbed me the wrong way. And that's actually why I made the decision to go. Makes no sense looking back, right? Like he was just talking about God, who cares?
It was triggering you.
It was
Yeah.
triggering me so bad.
Yeah.
So, I get to a gas station. I'm thinking at this point, he's not going to find me. Like he's going to give up. because I'm sitting outside, I'm on my phone, because like for some reason when you're on meth, like you don't ever have anything. Like
Yeah.
you have a phone, no charger. You
Yeah.
have like a lighter, no cigarettes, a shoe, no shoestrings. Like I don't know what happens, but we're always missing a part. And so I'm like plugging it in and I'm waiting, and here he comes. He finds me. And he's like, "Get in the fucking car." We're like outside. He's like, "Get in the fucking car right now." I'm like, "I'm not getting in the fucking car." He's like, this big dude. I'm like, "I'm not getting in the fucking car." He's like, "Get in the fucking car right now, or I'm going to put you in the fucking car." And I'm like, "Oh, get up, fucking book it inside." I told the people inside, I'm like, "Listen, that guy out there won't leave me alone. Can I please stay in here?" They put me in a cooler. They're like, "Do you want to call the police? Do you want to call the police?" I'm like, "No," because he was affiliated with some shit. And I know
It,
those
it
people.
would have been worse for
I
you.
didn't
For
want
you.
Yes, I don't wanna be walking down the road someday and,
Yep.
some guy come up and beat the shit out of me or
Yep.
worse.
Yep.
So I stay in there for a while. I'm calling the people at this trap house. This is the one with the rats. Calling everybody, nobody's answering. Finally, someone answers and they're like, "We're on our way." Because at this point, I'm like, I literally cannot leave. This guy is outside and he's going to hurt me.
Wow.
Takes him 2.5 like hours. Like I'm sitting in this cooler worried about this guy who was continually circling, and it takes them like 2 hours to get there. And when the guy finally gets there, I'm like, "What happened? Like, where have you been?" And he's like, "Oh, that I was pretty sure the helicopter in the sky was like the FBI and they were like looking for me." And I was like, "You motherfucker." Like in that moment
But you think about it now, like look what you were relying on. Uh,
for transportation or
yeah.
safety.
Yeah.
Um, and the sickness, like I said, in drug world for women. So also this guy had made it very clear. He's very vocal about like my husband and my boyfriend. Um, he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. And, I care about you." And we pull over and he's like, "Are you okay?" This motherfucker tries to make a move. At that point, I was like,
Are you serious?
I don't know if I can, like, I don't even know if I can do this anymore. Like, not only would I almost just get brutally assaulted for the third time, all of this other shit is now happening too. So he finally comes, he makes the move. I'm like, I gotta get back to this place and get out of there. Right. So I get back. I'm like on the cusp. It's so weird because I got back and I decided to do this big shot of heroin. And I was like, I love this. It was so weird. I remember looking at that same guy and going, man, like, I love heroin. And I sat there for a minute, and it's like it almost same guy with the Jesus thing, he came back in and I was like, I'm not being around this. And so I slowly started like gathering my things because I didn't want to say anything to anyone.
Of course.
The two people in the back, they were a couple. That's who brought around that guy, and I didn't trust them either. I mean, he brought this motherfucker around.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So packing all my stuff, and I told them I'm gonna go to Publix or something and I'll be back. I knew. Blocking everybody, blocking everybody, blocking everybody. Need money, I have no money. Need drugs, I have no drugs. I was one of those people that stole everything from everywhere and would like sell it. And so so funny. I like stole my way some money. I stole my way to get drugs. I'm sitting in a parking lot and I'm just like, it's like I knew. It's like I knew I was at the end of the road. I was at a point where I'd wake up and I would be so upset that I was even alive. My kids, I wouldn't tell anybody I even had them. Just miserable. Just I was always a little bit suicidal. I wasn't always sure that I even wanted to be alive anyway. And I used to say I even fail at killing myself because I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Think about it. You kind of were.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was.
You kind of were.
And
Yeah.
I was hoping for it every single day, And so I get to parking lot. He's calling me from jail, terrified to tell him because here I have to say, hey, I got in a car, some random dude.
Yeah.
He tried to hurt me, So I'm telling him all this and I'm telling him I'm going to go to detox. I'm going to go to detox. And I told him that this whole time he's been in jail. And I would go and I'd get out. I'd lie to him and say I was clean. Just the constant, cycle. But this time I was sure. So I called detox and I was like, listen, like you got a bed for me. Please let me in. They're like, we don't have any, but you can come sit outside. You wait for this bed. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Get to the parking lot. I do my last little bit of dope. Go sit outside. Just like me and this drunk lady. She's just fucking wasted. And I'm just sitting here like sores everywhere, skinny. Like, I mean, it was rough. I was like looking like rough. I probably sat for a couple hours. They finally let me in. I remember when I came in, one of the nurses was like, I remember you. She's like, you're different this time. And I was like I knew. I'm like, I feel different this time. And she's like, you might have this one in the bag, right? And so I go back to detox, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna, get through this. And about a day in, I'm like, yeah, I can do this on my own. 'cause that's
course.
our thing.
Yeah,
You know,
I got this.
I got like a day and a half clean. I'm good. You know, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
So signed myself out. And the clinician who had like been my clinician multiple times that had been in detox, she had gotten word of it. So she comes into my room and she wakes me up. And at this point, it's Halloween. So that's like why I have the soberversary at that.
Got it.
It's Halloween and I'm making all these excuses. I want to go be with my kids and I want to do this. And it was bullshit.
You're manipulating.
Yeah, I was not going to go see my fucking kid.
No.
I would go see my kid and that's what I'd be
Yeah.
doing. And she looked at me and it was at this point in my life, my in-laws hated me for what we had done. He was gone. My kids were so bitter, you know, with me. My face, I thought I was going to be disfigured. Like that's how bad it was. And she came in and she was like, "Listen to me. You are worth living. You are worth being alive. And if you try to leave, I will marchman act you and you will go to treatment from here and you will not get out until you complete." And I remember it pissed me off at first. I was like, "You fucking like, bitch."
The fuck?
But then she was like, "I'm doing this because like I'm going to love you until you can like love yourself. Then I'm going to fight for your life until you want to." And in that moment, it's like blinders came off and it was like she doesn't know me from Adam and you're going to look at me and tell me that like I'm worth it because I didn't think I was worth much, especially after that almost happened to me again. Like, what's wrong with you? You know, like how does
Yeah.
that happen?
Yeah.
And so she said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I'm going to go sign myself back in because I don't want to go treatment right now. Like I may be able to kick this with the right guidance." Sign myself in. I get out a day before my birthday. My birthday is November 5th. I got out a day before my birthday. I'm about to turn 30. I get in my car and I'm kind of like, they set me up at a sober house. By the way, sober living changed my life, but they set me up in a sober house. And I remember I had like this bag of like needles and spoons and old dope baggies. And I knew if I held on to it,
Yeah.
it was game time. Right. And I had 30 minutes. I had to get from detox, which is out by the jail, to Ridgewood. Like I just had to get 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's a haul.
That's a haul for somebody who maybe wants to get high.
Yeah, it's a haul.
So my friend, Becca, amazing woman, you know, virgin until she was married, God-fearing, homeschools her kids, nothing like me. And here I am, and I show up at her door and I'm like, and I said, "Listen, I need you to help me. And I know you're like the last person, but everybody else I know does drugs and I need someone to take this who will not give them back to me." She's like, "Absolutely," which I can almost like cry about her because she was another one of those humans that loved me when I couldn't love myself. And so I gave her the needle. She gave me like this big hug and she's like, "You can do this," right? So now it's like 15 minutes. I drive. I have a car at the time. It's still the car that I have at my house. It's like this old Dodge, but I drive there like no registration, no license, nothing.
Yeah.
All my stuff in bags in the back, you know, like drug addict shit.
Typical Daytona.
Yeah. Literally typical Daytona, especially Ridgewood. And so
Yeah.
I get there, I park in the wrong place and I'm like walking up and I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I've never done sober living. I don't know. And I walked in the front door and the first thing she said to me was, "Welcome home." And I had not had a home most of my life. Even, you know, at the end, when I stayed with other people, other relationships, even me and him, when we would fight, I would always be the one that like ended up getting kicked out or ended up leaving. And so I just never really had like a home. Then think about my childhood.
Yeah.
There was no home. I don't know what that means to have a home base. And so hearing somebody say like, "Welcome home," was like, and then just the gratitude started because I had been so fearful and having to sleep with one eye open at every place that I went because one, when you not out, and two, not only will you get robbed, but worse things could happen. And so the fear, not having a bed, sleeping on the ground, sleeping in the woods in this truck with no like air, it just it was a lot. It was a lot. So
Need a break?
yeah, just for a sec. Not a break. I
Okay.
just
No, you were talking about how going into sober house, how they welcome you home,
yes, and the
and
gratitude.
you know, and it makes a lot of sense. You grew up not knowing what that was.
Yeah.
You know, you have and like a better words, and I say that you had a horrible childhood.
It was weird. Yeah.
You know, They call it weird. But, but it's kind of cute. But it shows more about how strong you are than anything else.
Thanks.
Going through, unfortunately, we didn't talk about it too much, but being assaulted at a young age,
Yeah, we can
eh,
talk about that too
um,
for sure.
and only reason why I want talk about that is because today I was thinking in the mornings. I get up, I put YouTube on, news or whatever, and I make my coffee. And I was hearing these two gentlemen. I can't even call them a gentleman, a gentleman and a guy. His name is I forgot his fucking name, but he was talking about how men. He was complaining. He was complaining how we believe women when they come in and say they were assaulted, without because they say it.
Mm,
And the other gentleman was saying, well, because when they come in, first of all, for you to say that and come and have the bravery to say that,
yeah.
it's you have to take it serious.
Hmm.
We're not saying that people don't lie,
Yeah.
okay, but 9.5 out of 10,
Yep.
it's the truth.
Yep.
And I was so I'm a really pro female,
Yeah. Love
and
that.
I was really like upset that this guy was like saying shit like oh, but if men do it, it'll be different. I say, what do you? And the other guy, Partman, the guy was on the guest on the show, and he's a black gentleman, and he's a Republican. But it was so weird. Everything was say really ignorant, and
Wow.
not because of the fact he's Republican. No,
Right.
no,
Right.
it's
Right.
not that.
Yeah.
But even on the comments, people were saying that.
Yeah.
But he was talking about how he was complaining how um he would say females who come forward with sexual assault are children of the lie. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And
Wow.
and my nurse was here. I have a nurse helping in the morning, stuff like
Yeah.
that. And um and she's just young. And I'm like, she's hearing this at the same time. He's like, who's that? I'm like, some idiot. Like
Literally.
some idiot. And he was just, and I'm kind of like annoyed. I forgot his name, but he's a big political figure.
Wow.
Oh man, I'm annoyed. I can't remember his name, but he was talking about how he was annoyed with females who come forward with sexual assault and will make men look bad.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. I felt bad too for the woman that it went through or went
Yeah,
through it,
and so and gratefully the guest that he had on, his name is Parkman. Like he was really smart. They didn't let the comment bother him. And he had really a good educated answer. It's like any case that comes in to as a police officer, if I come into or anything any complaint,
Yeah.
if you don't believe me, you're not gonna investigate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So therefore, that's why we need people to believe us because yeah, it might end up that it's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's a lot of time it's true.
Yeah.
It's more time that it's true than it's not.
Well, it's funny that you even mentioned that because I actually have that sort of experience with one of these assaults. The one when I was 16, unfortunately, like I'd said, I was with a 28-year-old. Looking back, I'm like, what a sick person.
Yeah.
Like that is full on, like that.
That's a
You are
pedophile.
you are a full blown pedophile. You know
Yep.
exactly what you're doing. Um,
Oh, he knew.
100%.
He knew.
I had a severe drug problem then as a kid. I ended up in rehab, but him and his friend came over, brought a bunch of Xanax. They knew that was like my thing. I had a friend there. She was a little younger than me, and this is like the crazy part of addiction and like codependency and all the things.
Mhm.
I had a bad feeling again. I had a bad feeling about these two people, and so I told my friend, "Go in my room and lock the door. I can handle it because I have this guy, like the one I was talking to. He won't let anything happen to me. I
Yeah.
trust him."
Yeah.
He did. I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember some of it. And I remember them leaving, and I was just like laying on the floor. I woke up there on Xanax. You pass out after a little bit. Um, didn't say much, didn't say anything. I always felt like with all my assaults, it was my fault.
Well,
Always.
typical victim would think that.
Yes. And that's like another reason people don't tell because it's like so much shame. because like for people not comparing like we do, but like so me when I would think about like getting like or whatever, I would think about somebody running down a trail, someone jumps out and drags them into the bushes completely against their will
Hmm.
and hurts them.
Yeah.
Versus me, I'm like a 28-year-old, I'm all high and messed up and it's like, did I do
No.
that?
No.
Right?
No.
So I remember about 2 days went by and I called the guy and I said, what the fuck happened? Like I said, I didn't want this other guy involved in this at all. And he said, oh, well, you wanted in. And I said, oh,
You
did
were
I?
you were drugged,
Yes.
so you know the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. But then I'm like, fuck, like, did I want
No,
that?
you don't remember that.
No.
No. No.
So don't say anything to anyone forever. It's like a little secret because I really did believe it was me. I'm like, why are you even, you did this. Literally, that's what I believed. Like you put yourself here, you did this. And so I told like a boyfriend in the future, he wanted to kill him, but I was very like, shh, I don't want to say anything. He was friends of my sister's family. So kind of like some history, didn't say anything to anyone.
Yeah.
So about 2 or 3 months in, I overdose,
How old were you?
16.
Wow.
Yeah. Chewing morphine, chewing Xanax, homeless, living in a car again at this point, just bad off. Like I already overdosed once on it.
And how old were you when you were first OD?
Yeah. The first OD was same year. It was like back to back to back.
So you were 16. You were assaulted. You OD twice.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. I end up in like facility. It's like HBS here in Daytona.
Mhm.
And I woke up on like a mattress on the floor and there was like a girl at a desk in front of me. And I have no idea how I got there. Like I had no memory for a while.
Wow.
I'm like, hey, like, where am I? She's
Yeah.
like, shh. I'm like, oh fuck, like, am I in jail or something? Like, where am I? And so it turned out I was on like suicide watch
Okay.
because they thought I had tried to kill myself. But I
Okay.
hadn't. I didn't care.
Yeah.
But I was really just drug addict trying to get like fucking high.
But also, you're young, so that's the first thing I think about.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about all that. And
Yeah.
so I wandered around for like days. Like I did not know where I was. And they told me like I could have like permanent brain damage. They said my short-term memory, maybe that's what the fuck's wrong with me. They
Yep.
said like short-term memory, whatever. And so I remember when I was real high and out of it, I had met with this counselor. No memory of this, but I guess I told them what had happened.
Okay.
Clearly my subconscious needed to get that out.
Correct.
So I tell the guy I have no idea. I go to meet with him again. He brings it up and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do you know that? And he's like, oh, you told the nurse, you told me, whatever. He literally asked me, well, don't you think how you were dressed and what you were wearing might have played a part?
This was your therapist?
It's a therapist for kids at
Jesus-
HBS.
Jesus Christ.
And I remember thinking, well, fuck, you're right, because this is already how I felt.
No.
Literally, I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe I'm just like this horror. Like, like I deserve this.
Regardless, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Regardless of where you were dressed, nobody has the authority to touch you that way,
Right.
or have their way with you because you were dressed in whatever they were
Yeah.
dressed.
Yeah.
You know,
and then you think about what I grew
not an
up with
excuse.
too, and that obviously wasn't healthy and a lot of sickness there within the family. But, women weren't super respected. We weren't viewed in our family as it was my dad. My dad was the sun and the moon and the stars, and we were just there,
Unfortunately, society is still that way.
100%.
It's all about the male and male dominance and all that. And females are kind of like, it's funny because like people say, oh, females are so emotional. I'm like, no, men are the one who could react over any stupid shit so quick.
Yep.
And don't think about what the consequences or whatever. Sometimes we get mad over ignorant stuff.
Yeah.
Like majority of females are like, no, they're the one with more reasoning. Why do you think the girls mature faster than boys?
Yeah. Yeah. What do they say? Like, I think guys mature until they're 30 or something.
Yeah. No, yeah. I say it all the time. I coach jiu-jitsu, and the girls are way more mature than the boys. They're trained and they're really good. And the guy just fucking around.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
I've got
I'm
3
like,
boys, so
it's
they're
like,
always
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
fucking around.
Yeah.
It's like well, they can't. My kids are little, but it's like grow up. Like
Yeah.
quit it.
Yeah, but men and boys are ignorant. I'm sorry.
They are sometimes.
We're really immature.
And
That's
women too. We have our flaws totally.
No, of course. I mean, nobody's perfect.
Right.
But I'm saying like men. I mean, people don't agree with me, but men are more emotional
Yes.
than than
But
females.
anger is mostly their
Yeah,
emotion.
but still an emotion.
Yeah, and, anger is a
See,
secondary emotion,
yeah,
so it's even proof that they're feeling something else.
yeah. People think that being emotional is being crying and being a bitch. They no, it's not that.
Mm-mm.
It's to react to anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes people go, "Oh, you're so gay," and you get mad. Like, if you're not gay, then who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? Literally.
you know, I want to waste my time arguing with you over the fact I gotta prove to you that I'm not whatever you're telling me.
Yeah.
When I know it's not.
Yeah. I think
You know.
that's a lot of self-love thing too,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
used to I would carry some of that stuff. Like you'd said earlier, something about physical is a lot, that emotional scarring and stuff. I've said
Yeah.
my whole life that I'd rather had, which I have had my ass beat a lot, but I'd rather have my ass beat my whole life
Hmm.
than hear some of the things that I've been told.
Yeah.
Because those words have stuck with me my entire life.
They scar you.
Oh, forever.
They do scar you.
Because they're always going to be there. I mean, of course I've worked through it, but there are still times that I hear things that people
Yeah.
have said and it's like, shit, like I'm healing, but those emotional scars hurt
You
bad.
you can heal, but doesn't mean the scars go away.
Yeah, no.
You
No,
know.
they close, and they
Yeah.
heal a little,
They,
but
they heal, but they still remind. It's like that song on Papa Roach.
yes,
You know.
yes.
you
The
know.
past reminds me that the scars are
Yeah.
too real. Yeah.
And it's funny when I met my wife. I got shot and wounded in Iraq, and I was so like, self-conscious about my scars.
Yeah.
And I don't have as many as my other friends, you know. But they said, "No, I like your scars."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay," like, but it goes back to not loving yourself, not understanding that people can love you way more
Yeah.
than yourself. And when you're in an environment like the way you were, there was no room for you to take a moment and say, "Well, I'm way more than this."
Yeah.
Everything around you was so chaotic all the time,
Yeah.
and you didn't have a break to actually sit down and think about how your life can get better.
Yeah. No.
No, it's trauma after trauma after trauma after
It
trauma after
felt
trauma.
endless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's decades of trauma.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and something I was talking about one of my friends, and when you're in war, I was there for 18 months. It's only 18 months. You had a whole lifetime.
2 months is a lot of time.
Yeah, but you had a
Yeah.
whole lifetime.
Yeah.
And why I bring this up is because when I was there in '04, something will happen today. We got hit or whatever. We didn't just go back and think about it. We just went to sleep and got it out in the morning again or
Yeah.
on the next mission. So
Yeah.
we didn't have any time to really think about what just happened.
Yeah.
So when you come back home after the war, you're like, the fuck is happening?
All of it comes
Yeah,
in. All of it
and I
comes
had a lot
back.
of friends who went into alcoholism. I had a lot of friends who killed themselves.
I'm sorry.
You know, I'm a perfect example of several suicide attempts.
Really.
Yeah. But it goes back what you're just saying. It's about not. I didn't think that I was be able to be forgiven
Right.
for the things that happened over there, or I was able to be able to be a good person ever. You
Yeah.
know. But one thing that like, and it's funny with two different environments, but I get is that seeing the highest level of human filth. I put it in better words,
Yeah.
like me knowing how human beings can be so evil to other people
Mm-hmm.
makes me appreciate more things now
Yeah.
and
Like
be
the good.
yeah and be more protective and also be a better judgment
Yeah.
on when I'm around people
Yeah.
because I seen what human beings are capable of.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
something.
you for your service.
Oh no! Thank you for everything you have done. Honestly, you might not think that you've done a lot, but just being here and telling your story, it takes a lot of strength. It's
Yeah.
a lot of strength.
It's helped people though. What I work within drug court. And so I get to work with a lot of like addicted individuals and people in recovery, and having these stories that are a little bit wild. Honestly, it's not, this is like a recent epiphany that I've had, but I've gotten to a point with the traumas because I really can't empathize with everyone, right? So there's like
It helps.
yeah,
It helps. It
there's
helps.
like my superpower. But a lot of the time I think, okay, it did happen to me and it really did suck, but I got through it. Maybe the person after me who's about to go through it, maybe I can stop them, and I survived so that they don't have to,
Yeah.
right? But the universe decided I could take it. That's okay. So I'm kind of like grateful because without all this shit, I wouldn't be able to connect with these people. And I needed that connection when I was getting high. And so being so transparent with these people has not only changed my life, but it's been so helpful
Yeah.
working with them.
Yeah. There were a couple of nights ago. my wife, she works a separate shift now. So I was just I think a lot of things.
Yeah,
I do, and I was thinking, said, wow. Sometimes people go back. Sometimes I hope that it didn't happen to me. Of course, I don't want to go back in life and suffer what I suffered before.
right.
However, every single thing that happened, good or bad, guide me to the path I am today.
Yeah,
And yeah, it fucking sucked.
it did.
And no, I don't want to relive it again.
Yeah.
But it made me more appreciative, more stronger,
Mhm.
and you're a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
You're a perfect example of that. And I say no. If given everything we discussed today,
Mhm.
which I just give you a hug right now if I could. um, but if somebody out there who's watching this episode, who was going through a situation or had been through a situation, we mentioned before we came in here that when you're in have your problem, you think you're the only person having that problem,
Mhm.
and you have no hope because you think it's only happening to me.
Yeah.
If you can get any word of encouragement or hope, anybody watching this episode, what would it be?
One, it would be give yourself grace because survival, that's just what you have to do out there. So give yourself grace and let all the shit go because you're alive and you made it. And that's not always easy to do. The next thing would be ask for help. It's hard for a lot of people to reach out. We don't know where to go. We don't know where to start. Rehab is impossible to get into unless you have money and treatment. Um, But honestly, to tell somebody what I needed to hear the most at the end was that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay that you're strung out. It's okay that you don't have your kids. It's okay right now that you're shooting up. It's okay. Like, it's okay because it's not the end of the world and nobody hates you and you're not the scum of the earth. You're not. You're just sick right now. So just like give yourself grace. And if you can ask for help, but you're surviving. And for me, that's something to be so proud of because
Yes,
it's just not easy out there.
yes.
Um, And just don't give up. Just don't give up because it really is okay. And you're gonna get there. We're
Mhm.
gonna get there. We're gonna get
Yeah.
there.
There's so much guilt sometimes that we carry because of what happened, and we think that due to the guilt that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't get over this. When when you get over the guilt, then you realize like how beautiful life can be.
Yeah.
And how grateful. Like every morning I go to bed, and then to my wife, I'm grateful because the part of time in my life that I almost lost that too.
Mhm.
And all because I didn't ask for help the right way. Because
Yeah.
I thought I could do it. Oh, I'm a therapist. I got this. Like
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I didn't have anything. I was one of the biggest mistakes I ever done. However, seeing that I can't do something on my own strength and rely on people humbled me a lot.
Yeah.
And one thing that like since I lost my vision is like I depend on people every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I can't drive. I had a nurse in the morning,
Yeah.
because I don't remember half the shit that I do.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And hearing your story is for me is inspiring. It truly is.
It
It
is.
truly is. It takes a no pun intended, a giant of a person,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and real strength to do what you did.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
very proud of myself.
no, you should be.
And
You
getting
should
through
be.
that gave me a lot of love for myself.
Yes,
I'm honestly so proud of myself.
you
Like
should.
I
You
said the other
should.
day, when you're using, you just want to die all the time. You just hate your life. And these days, it's like I'm scared. I don't want to die. Like I love my life. Like I love me.
Yeah.
And it took all of that to like get here. And one more thing I would like to say for people is if you have parent guilt, that is so heavy. That was one of the things that really almost brought me to my knees because when you're not high anymore, that all comes rushing in and you're failing your
Yeah,
beautiful
more
children.
clarity so you can think what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, like, immediately when you
Yeah.
start with kids especially, and honestly, the same thing, like, it's okay. We can get better. We can get well. We can do it. You can have your kids again. It's not forever. It does not have to be forever, and so I just feel like that needs to be said because parents, and kids of drug addicts, it's all in my family. The guilt is so real, and it almost pushes them from ever coming back into their children's lives,
Correct.
and it is okay. Kids are resilient. Sucks. It
Hmm.
sucks that we put them there. It sucks, but they
Yeah.
keep doing the next right thing. And the family and the things and the life comes back around. It really does.
No, you're right. Sometimes we focus we so hard on ourselves when we make a mistake,
Mm.
and it's lately I've been like, well, for me, it's more of a teachable moment than a mistake.
Mhm.
Because where I was a mistake, I'm hard on myself.
Mhm.
Was a mistake, I judge myself, and,
Mhm.
and then I love myself less because I'm a piece of shit because whatever. Remember, all these things come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, instead of me doing that, I've been like, well, what can I learn from this? That way I won't do it again.
Yeah.
You know, and it's something I had to learn to be more honest with myself,
Mhm.
and that's extremely hard, because egos and all these things.
Pride and ego
Yeah,
for
oh
sure.
yeah, that's just, especially in guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm what you said really it resounded with me was that back in 2022 was actually the same year I started jujitsu because I needed something.
Yeah.
My wife said, Eric, you need to do something. I was on the urge of losing my marriage and everything, and she loved me to death. So
Yeah.
Eric, I love you, but it's a lot,
Yeah.
and she was right. And that I joined jujitsu in October, and April I tried to stab myself in front of her,
Oh my gosh.
and yeah, it's on video. That's okay. No, but
I'm so glad you're here.
the reason why I mentioned this story is that um if I have a wife who was that strong,
Mhm.
or a wife that didn't believe in myself, believe in me,
Mhm.
because the thing which made me change my life was that I told her one day, it's like, after everything I've done, every time I made you cry or disappointed, why are you still here? I said, Erica, I believe in yourself. I believe in you,
Yeah.
and that I don't want to cry, but
Yeah.
it broke me down
Yeah.
because I was like, nobody has. It's people say that because they're trying to cheer you up.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but when somebody's being genuine and they say, "I truly believe in you," say, "Eric, you're a good man."
And you know it when they
Yeah,
say it.
yeah, yeah, and so that shook something in me,
Yeah.
and so the reason why I say all this is because now I love life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have my days because I have my days,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I love life. I'm thinking, wow, I'm 44. I want to do all these things, and now I'm thinking about how old I am, and I want to do these things before I get too old to do them.
Yeah.
Before I wasn't even thinking about those things.
No. No.
Like,
Well,
like
because you can't see yourself in the future.
exactly.
I don't know if you ever felt like this, and I say it a lot, but for me, when I was real bad and using, I'm like a manifester, okay?
Okay.
Borderline to the point that I almost manifested being here. I've always wanted to do this, always wanted to share my story. And so this opportunity has been like really great. Um, but sorry.
It's okay. It's
Um,
about manifestation.
yes. And so in the bad times, as a kid, I could always see myself in the future. I had a future, okay? When I was a young mom, I could see myself in the future. I could see it. I could see myself.
That helps.
When I started to use, nothing. I couldn't see myself. And I remember telling my husband, I'm like, I don't have a future. I have nothing. Like I cannot see myself in the future, which makes me think I won't be there. And so I don't know if you were ever at that point to where you
Yeah,
looked ahead and there was nothing.
I wasn't thinking about that.
No,
I was thinking about in the moment that I wanted the pain go away.
anything to do it.
The guilt that I hurt my wife, or because I get really, I will get violent with myself,
Hmm.
and because she loves me, she didn't want to see me hurt myself,
Yeah, no, it's hard.
and so seeing all those things, and not only that, like I was so selfish. What she does for a living.
Hmm.
She's a death investigator,
Hmm.
and I wasn't.
Hardcore.
Yeah, and I wasn't thinking the fact that if I did went through it,
Hmm.
I'm in the same county she works at.
Wow. Yeah.
That, and of course, she wouldn't take my case, but I would be in her building, but
Her husband.
dead.
Yeah. Her
I
husband. Yeah.
not thinking about those things,
No.
not thinking that how much it's affecting her,
Hmm.
like none of that stuff. I was thinking about just my pain. I said
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
my pain, and I wanted the pain to go away. And when those things when moments happen, you don't know how to shut it off, and you
Mm-mm.
think you think that's the best way because it's quick,
Yeah.
you know.
It's done.
And honestly, it's you being a coward.
Yeah.
I say that now because I was a coward.
Yeah.
I if I survive Iraq, if you survive all these things,
Yeah.
we're here today. Like, that's not an option.
No, no, not anymore.
It's not. It's never. It was never an option.
No,
Never an option. And some people are so afraid to talk about it because it's a deep
it
conversation.
is.
It's a really dark conversation, and sometimes it's kind of a taboo.
Hmm.
But the reality is that it's people die every day from suicide.
Yes.
Every day.
Children,
Yeah, children, teens, adults.
elderly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really common in the U.S.
Yeah.
And so it's not a matter that we just sweep over the rug.
Yeah. No,
No, and
no,
but people don't talk about it. Like you see, even the government today, then they don't
no.
nothing.
It's like hush hush. It's like shh, shh, shh. Like we don't need to talk about the fact
Yeah,
that people are taking their lives because of a multitude of reasons, whatever that looks like. I read somewhere that most of the time when people try to commit suicide, the ones who have survived, immediately they know they made a mistake. Immediately.
oh yeah, like
Immediately.
oh yeah,
Um, my suicide attempts were never super, it was like drugs for me. Like I just didn't care. So if I
yeah.
just didn't wake up, like whatever. But I was a self-harmer and I was all the things. And people, they're scared of it. It's like weird. I don't know if I want to say it, but one of my children had struggled with some self-harm issues too. And no one really wanted to say anything. It was like, shh, like, but there's scars and there's things, and it's like
That's the problem.
I know it's uncomfortable. It really is
Of
to come
course,
up.
of course it is.
It's weird. It's a weird topic, really,
Yeah,
and it's embarrassing and it's shameful, but it has to be talked about.
but it comes from people don't understand that when that's happening, pain is going on.
Yep.
Things are going on that is causing that.
Yeah.
People focus so much on the action and not on the cause of why she's doing that
Yeah.
or he's doing that.
Because it's pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, "What's going on with you? And how can I help you?"
Yeah.
Not like, "Why are you cutting yourself?"
Right.
Like,
Or it's severe mental health, and then we got to check into that, because you're
yeah,
schizoaffective, or if you personality disorder, BPD.
so many things going on like, underlining that leads to that.
Yeah.
That people just bypass it because they get mad at us or at the person because they're. And some people do it because they love us and
Hmm.
then know how to respond. However, that's the last thing you want to hear when you're like
Hmm.
you're exposed. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of courage too to accept the fact that yeah, I want to harm myself.
Yeah.
I mentioned I was a coward before, but it's also a lot of courage to acknowledge the fact that yes, I need help, and I can't do it alone.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
were you a coward though? Because it's like pain that you couldn't manage. It's pain that you didn't ask for.
I think the reason why I say I was a coward because I mean, well, I could manage it.
Okay.
I could manage it if I actually buckle down because I can manage it now.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have been different now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm managing it now,
Yeah.
and now I'm happy as I've ever been.
Me too.
So so yes, I was thinking the easy way out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
Easy way out because easier is to not deal with it.
Yeah. Well, and then all of us, when you leave, we all have to deal with it.
Yeah,
But the
exactly.
person who does it
And
is
being
night night.
selfish. And being
Yeah.
selfish because like all I had to do is to talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
That's all I had to do.
But it's so hard.
It
I
is.
mean, I watch people just like go to prison, like lose their lives because they just cannot articulate what they're feeling. And for me, I never really had that much of an issue. I was
Yeah.
kind of blessed with the gift of like, I'm going to scream it like loud and proud
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know I'm a little, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
You say that, but one of the greatest minds and greatest minds, all these people are really smart. All I had issues.
yeah,
Look at Einstein. Einstein married his cousin.
really?
Yeah, look it up.
That's some weird
Yeah,
shit.
but yeah, you talk about weird shit.
Yeah.
Like that's some weird shit.
I know, weird, yeah.
Yeah, but he never like vocalized it. But he was like his third cousin, something like that.
Wow.
But still his cousin.
Fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So still his cousin. Like if you have same bloodline, I'm not touching you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
Get away from me. Yes.
But look at his legacy.
yeah.
Like he's one of the most brilliant minds, and
Yeah.
and to this day.
Yeah. And addicts are too. And I think people don't get that because they really do view us as like the scum of the earth. But addicts are industrious. We are smart. I mean, back in the old days, we can make money out of like nothing. Like we can make money just appear.
Yeah, I see some people like, wow, but it's all survival.
Yeah.
It's survival, and you have to be smart to survive.
Oh, for
You
sure.
know, even though it's probably the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
but people think that being intelligent, yes, you might making the wrong choices.
Yeah.
However, and in the moment you're being ingenuous, you're being creative, and even though in a negative way,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
still it shows some
You have
yeah,
qualities.
exactly. It shows some potential that if you can do that, then you can do it for a better good.
And that's what I told these people. I'm like, y'all got some serious talents right now. Like, we know how to con people. That means you can be a people person. Just flip that shit
Hey, you can
around.
be a lawyer.
You can be a lawyer. You can help people like us.
Be a salesman or something like that.
Anything. We are so capable. We are some of the most capable people. I've seen people come up from absolutely nothing. Me being one of them. I do struggle in school a little bit because, remember my past.
No, but of course, it's not your fault.
No, it
It's
isn't.
not your fault.
And I try to go to school. I go like, I'll do 3 months and then I'm like, I got to take a break.
That's okay.
And then I'll come back and I'll do 3
But
months.
you're doing it though.
I'm trying,
You're
yeah.
doing it though. It's better to try, not to do anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. I think I had to learn myself. Like Eric, even though it's goes a slower pace, I'm still doing it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't it better just be constantly be trying than like, oh fuck it.
Someone told me, and it's like always stuck with me. They said, you can go any direction you want. Forward, sideways, side to side, little diagonal. You can go any way you want, but you can't go backwards.
No.
And to me, I like resonated with that so much because it's like, I might not get straight to my goal right away.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to sidestep a little bit. I might be over here, but I'm moving. I'm not stuck complacent in this spot. Like I'm moving. And so when they said that, I was like, fuck yeah. Like I'm not where I want to be at, but I ain't back there.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I ain't back there.
No, but you're doing things every day to better yourself.
I am.
And that's something that people sometimes forget.
Mhm.
Like, it's so hard on themselves.
Yeah.
Like your story has been, like I said, you can make a movie out of out of your story. I encourage you to write a book. It's like really powerful and inspirational. It shows volume how strong you are as a person. Like right now, you're in front of me, you're this beautiful, amazing human being, just glowing with happiness.
Thanks.
And to, honestly, if you didn't tell me your story, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Thanks.
No,
Thanks.
I mean, it happens to me sometimes. People, I don't know your blood sometimes.
Yeah. No, when I saw you, I was like,
yeah.
oh, what?
But I'm home, so I know where everything is.
Makes sense.
Same thing when I'm in academy, I know where everything is. But I'm saying this because if I don't know your background, didn't say your bio, I will never guess that was your past. And that shows more of who you are as a person, how strong you are.
Yeah.
To turn around your life that I would never thought. No, and I'm being honest. Like it's on tape.
Thanks.
It's on. I do not honestly wouldn't think any of that.
I really love that because had I showed you a picture and had you seen what I looked like before, you would be like, oh my God, like everywhere. I probably had when I got clean 25 sores on my face, just almost like infected. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I still have the pictures. And so
It's part of the disease.
it was so
Yeah,
bad.
it's part of the disease. I never had to go through that, but I deal with people with that in my practice,
Yeah.
and it's crippling.
Yeah.
And it's crippling, and the fact that you survived that and overcome all these things, that from being homeless, from being assaulted, from being away from your kids, to now being this great mom and wife, and have a great career. You're a badass.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Seriously, you're a badass. It takes a lot of freaking strength, and to do that, to get every day, every morning, and do it all over again,
Yeah.
all over again. And because again, it's easier to quit because when you quit, you don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But when you're putting effort every day, it takes a lot of character.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you for your time. I want to
Thanks.
thank you. Please come back.
Anytime.
I really was humbling to hear your story, I'm speechless. It's rare. It's really rare. I talk a lot. But no, thank you. My wife was like on the money on this. Like she's like, Eric, you gotta bring her to the podcast. She's an amazing story, and I'm glad that I listened to my wife. I do that often now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Please tell her I love her so much and
No,
how thankful I am for
I
her.
will. So thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Honestly, and for our viewers out there, thanks for hanging in, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and be encouraged by Lexi's words, or Lex, sorry, Lex words, and to don't give up no matter what.
No.
And so until next time, I'm Beyond Capable.